Jets lose. Let's talk about it. Second week of the preseason here. Jets Giants. Not really what you want to see out of this team in that second game, right? Coming off, in my opinion, a great win against the Packers in Lambeau Field. Against some of their ones, we were fast, we were flying around. There's a lot of positives to pull from that game. And obviously, before this week's game, before tonight's game, we had the two joint practices against the Giants, and really the maybe narrative from reporters on that first day 50-50. Jets had some moments, Giants had some moments. Jets had some head scratchers, so did the Giants. But then on the second day, it really felt like it went the Giants' way. And the biggest takeaway, the biggest storyline was the Giants' front seven. It was that defensive line. So we roll into tonight's game, not really knowing, okay, which starters are going to play, how long is Justin Fields going to play, this and that. And, let's just take it from the top, right? That first drive, it felt like it was over, blink of an eye. Jets are coming off the field. And I think a big reason why was because of the offensive line, right? You take a look at what these guys did in that first drive, it was not good at all. The first mistake, you have Armand Membu on the outside with Kayvon Thibodeau. Credit Kayvon, he puts a move on him. All of a sudden, he's in the backfield. Now Justin has to jump to try to deliver a throw. He's throwing like mid-air here. Obviously, it's going to be incomplete. The very next play, you get a high snap from Joe Tippmann, which, of course, is annoying to talk about because it's been a storyline this training camp. He's in this, center battle with Josh Myers, according to the coaching staff. But the high snaps were an issue last season with Aaron Rodgers. But what makes it even worse is you get a high snap on one of, like, if you have a designed quick throw, you cannot have a high snap in that situation, right? A designed quick throw is supposed to catch the defense off guard. It's supposed to get the football into the playmaker's hand as quickly as possible. And if you have a high snap where now the quarterback has to jump to obtain the football, get a good grip on it to then deliver, that's giving the defense more time to react, more time to flock to that side of the field, and another incompletion. So the offense sputters. They punt it back to the Giants, and feels like you have a couple quick plays, right? Handoff. They're getting big, chunk yardage, and then Russell Wilson hits this moon ball down the field for a touchdown. Andre Sisco takes a weird angle to the football. It just looked like they were asleep on the defensive side. Now, I don't want to harp too much on it because, at the end of the day, you look at the defensive line, it's like entirely second stringers, right? No Quinnen Williams, no Will McDonald, no Jermaine Johnson, no Byron Cowart, who's the projected starter right now, opposite of Quinnen. You also don't have Sauce Gardner. So, we can't really judge the run defense too hard based off of this game, if we're just being honest here. And even, going back to last week against the Packers, we didn't have these guys either. So, it's going to be tough to judge right now. Your hope is, okay, hey, you know what? We start the season off against a bunch of really good football teams here that know that the Jets are a little thin at defensive tackle, and stopping the run is going to be somewhat of a priority for them, or trying to figure that aspect out on the defensive side. Yes, of course, we have good linebacker play. I'm confident in these guys to come up and stop the run, but, it starts up front. It starts in the trenches with the defensive line. And, I just want this unit, and by no means am I saying rush guys back from injury, right? Everyone knows that. But it's getting to the point where, hey, there's 2 preseason games in the books. There's only 1 preseason game left. There's no, according to reporters in the Jets right now, there's no scheduled joint practices this week. So one more opportunity where live bullets are flying. This defense hasn't really had that much time, if we're being honest, together, like on the field as one cohesive unit. So again, I'm a little bit concerned heading into the regular season about it. But as far as tonight goes, it was the literal second team out there on the defensive line. So plus, cherry on top, no Sauce Gardner. So I don't want to put too much stock into it, but I will say from top to bottom, it just felt like the Giants played harder. It felt like they wanted it more. Again, it's preseason, so it's kind of hard to judge these things. Overall, it just looked like everyone was a little confused, right? Like, oh, we have a game tonight. And I don't necessarily like seeing that, especially when it's trickling in from, the starters, then to the backups, then to the third string / practice squad guys. Little bit concerning there, but again, it is what it is. You can only pull so much from these preseason games. As far as the second offensive drive, this was kind of one of the bigger talking points in the earlier parts here, because the Jets had a pretty successful drive where it was just nonstop handoffs, nonstop runs over and over and over again. Not too complicated, not too complex, very simple stuff. A lot of just inside zone, and the Jets were having a lot of success with it. But I kind of felt like the maybe frustration level is like, hey, Justin Fields, this passing attack has been a bit of a concern, according to reporters, a concerning or maybe a question mark so far. Let's get this guy going. Let's maybe get him some passing reps, because the passing reps that we have seen so far haven't really translated into that much success. So let's, even though the offense is not going to be built around that philosophy, built around trying to throw the ball 30, 35 times a game, it is going to be a run-centric, a run-heavy team. Let's at least get the quarterback out there going through reps again against live bullets here in this Giants defense that was not holding back any punches. We have to give the Giants coaches, the Giants players, a ton of credit. They came out, tip your cap to them. They played hard, they played fast, and they played hard. So yeah, I think ultimately that's the reason why the Jets lost in the end. But yeah, lots of successful runs in that second drive, but it was kind of strange because you kind of feel like the overall mood after that drive was, well, we didn't really see much from Fields, and then he gets pulled. So yeah, we'll have a video up later on this week on if Justin should play in that final preseason game here against the Eagles, which I think should be a pretty cool kind of debate topic of discussion. But yeah, as far as the rest of the game goes, I felt like Steve Wilkes called an extremely basic and vanilla defense, especially in the second half. Like, once the second half kicked off, it was just basic as can be. And you saw the Giants offensive coaching staff dialing up plays for Jackson Dart where it was quick one read, balls out, right? Really, I felt like the Giants coaching staff did a good job of just isolating the Jets linebackers, forcing those guys to run, putting them on islands. And the Giants basically saying, hey, our tight ends are very, very good, and we're going to give Jackson Dart a bunch of easy reads. Again, we're not going to overcomplicate things. We're not going to ask this dude to go through these crazy full field reads or anything. It's going to be quick. It's going to be decisive. We're going to use this game to really build. It really felt like this game was a good confidence builder set in place by the Giants coaching staff, and I think that was kind of maybe magnified with how the Jets called their defense. There wasn't really a lot of exotic stuff. So again, you can't really put a ton of stock into what we saw on the defensive side. It just felt like the Giants were a little bit more creative, which is understandable, especially if you're rolling out a first year quarterback, former first round pick here. You want to get him comfortable. You want to get him in rhythm. But again, I think for me, you just wanted to see the Jets have a little bit more juice, have a little bit more energy. It just kind of felt like they rolled out of bed to get to the stadium today. A bit concerning here, but hey, it's not this is why preseason is a thing. It's to iron out the kinks. A couple of positive takeaways. I felt like the punt coverage was incredible. Punt coverage was awesome. Credit all those guys. Credit Chris Banjo. I really feel confident in this group. Special teams as well. Nick Folk had a couple of kicks that went in. Awesome stuff there. Special teams literally lost us games last year. That cannot be the case with this new regime. I just, whether it's punting, whether it's muffing punts, muffing kicks, poor field position, not being able to get downfield and cover, missing extra points, missing field goals. We just cannot be shooting ourselves in the foot. That's one area of the whole Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh era, Jeff Ulbrich era that I want alleviated. Now, a missed kick will happen here or there, a fumble will happen here and there, but it can't be this consistent thing where it's happening like multiple times a month, year after year, nothing is ever addressed. Very, very frustrating stuff. But again, special teams I thought looked pretty good tonight. I liked how Arian Smith bounced back, had that kind of annoying drop early on, but he had a couple of really nice snags, and I in my opinion felt like he made up for it. I think it's easy for a wide receiver specifically, right? You're reliant on the quarterback to get you the football. If you're someone that has a reputation of dropping footballs and you go out and drop a football on your first opportunity of the night, that could be a situation where that young player gets in their head and maybe they drop another one. Maybe they're not as sharp on their route. But that wasn't the case with Arian Smith. It kind of just looked like he really honed in, locked in, and made a couple plays, which is positive. So Jets lose to the Giants 31-12. Let's see what changes, if any, are made next week against the Eagles. One more opportunity. Preseason games, scrimmage, joint prep, one more opportunity. Friday night, Philly. And then the regular season starts. So, gonna be crazy. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Jets.